Yes, Google IT support or professional certificates I'm going to be talking about today. Before we get into it, a little bit introduction about myself. Welcome to iMentor. Uh, and I've been putting this reviews and all these kind of stuff for quite a while. And with the name of iMentor, I've been doing Exchange IT Pro. So a little bit about myself and some of my details. What do I do? Technical. So I've been in industry for more than two decades, and I've been to a number of uh, areas within IT. So I think I can be doing this effort, helping you guys, those who are looking to get into IT. And this time, I wanted to start with Google IT support. And I put together a number of videos around getting into IT with the CompTIA certification, basically A plus, Computer plus, IT fundamentals. Most of the people, they come and ask me, hey, how do we start a career in IT? Where do we start from scratch? Does it require programming or not? And all those people even transitioning the career from different IT sales to different areas. So there are a lot of areas to learn. And also depending on your today's technical knowledge, right? So I have not been impressed by Google, but until a week or a few days ago, I come across and look at the course syllabus, because what matters, technically speaking, is what is covered, right? It's not about certification, it's about what you're going to learn, and is you going to learn, are there any going to be hands-on. So this is based on the information available on internet. I've never done any certification and have not met anyone who did it. But same thing, I can kind of get the idea what's going to be in that course based on the syllabus. Same thing I did, or I've been doing for CompTIA and other certification. So I'm gonna review this, and under this video I'll give you some tips, and also I am sure it will help you make a better decision what certification or what skills basically you need to be learning. Basically it's all about skills. IT is all about skills. So hands-on projects, awesome. So they have this course available on Coursera. Basically you won't find much, but on Google find a link about the course syllabus, and this is where it takes you here. And Coursera, and there are other university colleges offering the same program, one more here. So it depends, so we'll look into those. So on Coursera and all of them, they all cover pretty much 5 domains: technical support fundamentals, bits and bytes of computer networking, operating system, sysadmin and IT infrastructure services, and IT security. This is good because they're covering the fundamentals and the basics of networking and basics of operating system, and giving you the taste of infrastructure, systems administration and management, and of course the security. And as you grow in your area, out of those 5, you can easily grow in IT security. You can easily see yourself growing in system administration, and maybe networking or network engineer and all that. So it's a journey. It's not a sprint. You do it. It's a marathon. So let's start one by one. What is covered in each of them? So I'm gonna do some web capture here, and then we'll go to each of them. And let's see what's covered. I have to control the, or I may have to erase it. All right. So, all right. So by the end of this course, you will be able to understand 0 and 1, the basics of computer, 0 and 1, and how does it work. They may give you some mathematics or some of those binary calculations, and gate or gate. It depends. Nothing much is mentioned here, so really can't say much about it. Assemble a computer from scratch. I'm not sure if you can learn it by watching videos and assemble a computer at your home. Or you may have burned circuit board or motherboard. I don't know, but it's not that difficult. You can learn it as you follow the instructions, how to put the motherboard and memory card and graphics card and VGA card and connect those. It's pretty interesting. I've done and built many systems myself when I started my career, so it's pretty good. So you kind of understand how the computer system work. How do you build your white box? You can develop your first lab, actually buy a motherboard, processor, ton of memory and all that, and disk, and set up a computer for you at your home. So why not, if they're hands-on, get you there. So perfect. And basically this is more covered on CompTIA A plus on that, over the hardware assembly, but you don't need to know each and everything. This is good enough if they cover as a overall. How to install. Once you set up and understand how to assemble a computer, you need to then install a operating system. So not necessarily you set up a computer first and then install it. You go and buy a laptop from Best Buy or any other Walmart, wherever, and the system is there. You can run some command list to recover the system from scratch. Or the difference is that you need to learn a computer from scratch, which you can also learn it on a virtual machine. Basically, if you have a good computer with 8 gigs or 16 gigs of memory, you set up Oracle VirtualBox and then you can start learning how to install a operating system. There are some areas where you need to troubleshoot of the drivers, the device driver, but usually today everything is available in the disk and you put in there. It's pretty simple and easy to learn. So again, whichever way they're going to teach you, I don't know, but I'm just giving my tips as we go on. Understand what internet is. Yeah, so without internet, I would not be doing. So I think we can just skip the importance of internet. How applications are created and all that stuff. This is good to know. Like we live in an app world, so you need to know the back end, the front end, programming languages, overview, all that stuff. So I don't know what they're going to cover, but let's see what these guys are offering in that area. They're saying software only. There is no, yeah, and here another university. So what they're saying is that they're just covering the software, nothing else. So yeah, they're more or less the same. Problem solving skills, as I said before, all the time I said IT is also about social skill. You need to understand the problem. You have to have a good analytical problem solving skills. People hire you because when you are dealing with issues, they hire you and they call you for the support. So you need to understand the actual issue and should be able to then fix it, you know. So listening is very important. Active listening is very important. You need to understand it. You listen it first carefully, then understand the problem, then you come up with a solution. So that's a very important piece. Now let's go to the second topic. So here we're talking about computer networks in terms of 5-layer model, like which is an OSI model, 7-layer. So internet model is 4-layer or 5-layer, I'm not sure. But again, you're going to learn about application layer, transport layer, network layer, physical layer, and all there's layers and what devices work on each layer, like session layers and all that. So web service I'm showing you right now is an application layer 7. So you have to have a thorough understanding on each and every layer and what devices work on each and every layer. This is a must-have. TCP/IP communication is a must-have. You cannot ignore it. So you need to understand the protocols involved with TCP/IP, HTTP, HTTPS, and how that TCP/IP protocol itself do work. How does it communicate over the wire? You know, there are UDP and this is TCP connection oriented, 3-way and all that stuff. And this is also important when it comes to security. Powerful network troubleshooting tools and techniques. I don't know what they're going to teach you, but you need to understand the ping and NS lookup and all that stuff. Again, when I say NS lookup, BCD, NS, DHCP, domain name services, and dynamic host configuration protocol is very important. DHCP is all about IPs, and domain name service are about resolving your name to an IP address. When you go to yahoo.com, it resolves to an IP address, and that IP address has maybe application server or web server. And this is where all the backend stuff works. So this is a very, very important area to learn. Understand cloud and computing, everything as a service and cloud storage. This is very important. You need to understand infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service. I put together a ton of videos in my video. Go take a look. There are more than 4 or 5 videos available on the same topic. So you have a better understanding what it is all about. And the cloud storage is very important when you move your data to the cloud. You got to understand how the cloud storage, and this is look like they're just giving understanding, not much in detail. Okay, move on to the next topic. Power user. So navigate Windows and Linux file system. So let me just capture this one. Hold on. Need to capture this one. All right. So Linux file system using graphical user interface and command line. So basically, they're going to teach you the file system itself, like in Unix and Windows. You need to learn the setup, user groups, permission for account. This is very important. This used to be a day when we used to do MCSE, the whole area. Now things have changed. So basically, they're going to walk you through the high level of how to set up the users and groups and permissions. Very important. And as long as when you go to the cloud model of GCP, AWS, and Azure, again, you need to learn those, RBAC access, RBAC, role-based access control, because you don't want somebody to give access to everything, right? It's the other way around. You block everything and give them the access they need. There's another concept called authorization, which we'll learn. So you need to learn the setup, the groups and permission, and give them the permission accordingly what they need to know basis. So need to know basis is important. Install, configure, remove software on Linux. Okay, pretty good. You need to be hands-on on that. And also maybe on Mac, if they added Mac, would have been awesome. But Windows and Linux are pretty much. Linux is not on IT support. Windows, you will see, in my opinion, 90% of every office you go, people are using Windows. So you have to have very good skill on Windows. I have not seen any hospital, clinic, retail office where the customer service or help desk or front end staff is using Linux. You know what I mean? They have a web browser, they have Windows. And this is where people have issues like, hey, my printer is not working, I cannot scan, how do I send an email? You don't have those Linux that, hey, my Linux operating system, I've never seen that. So it's good they will teach you basics of Linux, which is good, but majority of the work you will end up working on Windows. Configure disk partitioning and file system, very, very important. How does process work and all that, working system logs and remote connection tools. This is important. Logging and monitoring, so you can figure out. Sometimes it helps you troubleshoot if somebody calls you, hey, I'm not able to log in. You can go to the event logs and see when they did log in successfully and if the login is failed. Logging in also help you if there is a problem with security related issues, the system related issues, and there are many categories. You can go and look into that and find that out. Operating system and all that. Okay, that's repeating stuff. Let's go to the next. All right, so infrastructure is another very important topic for the infrastructure. What you will learn. Let's take a look. What they're going to teach you is that you will be able to do what? Choosing the hardware vendor services. Okay. So this can only do it once you understand the hardware and software which meets your, but again, it depends. Usually IT support don't get involved in choosing because you are just given those products to do the work and learn the skills. So I'm not sure how accurate is that because that's IT management make the decision. And if you're an early starter, depending if you work for an organization where I don't know IT people, and in that scenario, that can help. For example, if you have all Windows 10 and all these things, if you need to buy a backup solution, then why would you buy a backup solution which has Linux? You know what I mean? You want to have a backup solution which works with Windows, basically. Maybe the antivirus. So if you have an antivirus and you want to buy for Windows, you want to buy the antivirus which run on Windows, not on Linux or Mac, right? So that where I think it leads to understand the most common infrastructure infrastructure, routers, switches, printer, server, and all that. So that's, I think, as I said, where other people are giving these third topic. In here, system administration, network infrastructure service, directory service, and all that. I believe other universities stuff I'm looking at. So yeah, network software system, they pretty much, but they do not have details what exactly they're going to teach you. So again, this is fair enough. And then they're going to talk about and teach you directory services, Active Directory, and Open LDAP, lightweight directory access protocol. It's a must-have skill. You must know how these things work, how the username, when put the username and password goes to the server, a server issues a ticket, and all these communication back and forth work to make you that you are authenticated, the person who you are. So that's very important. Backup, as I told you before, how to backup and recover. This is very important. So you must know these skills. Even you can do it at your home, installing some backup utility and backup the data on your external drive and restore it, for example. Versus the backing of the whole system, as a different ball game. All right, so I think there is one more left. IT security, always my best or my most interesting. So let's see what they're going to teach you in IT security. All right, so okay, well, we're going to learn in IT security. Have a look. Encryption algorithm. Okay, if they're going to teach you encryption algorithm, there are many, but I think they should also cover, in my opinion, data trust, data in transit, and in motion, because whenever you're saving the data on a disk, it needs to be encrypted, especially when it comes to cloud. So there are NIST cybersecurity framework, there are encryption at rest. You have to have 256-bit AES encryption. So that's important for transit. You need to understand TLS 1.2. I believe they're going to teach you there, or maybe more in detail, which I don't know. Various authentication system like Azure Active Directory, ping identity and all that. So how deep they're gonna go, I don't know, but they're talking about you will understand. Basically, here's the keyword: you will understand. So I don't think so they're gonna give you any hands-on on that. All right, so be mindful of that. They will be doing this thing. Understand. Okay, the difference between authentication, again, is a difference. It's not giving you the details. How to evaluate potential risk is always depends. When you have this knowledge, then you will be able to evaluate the risk. When you go to the cloud, identity is the biggest risk, versus on-premise is the network. How do you protect? So different approaches, comes with experience, come with knowledge. But if they give you the criteria and how to assess, I think it's a good area to learn. Best practices for secure networking, again, DMZ zone versus private network and public network, and when it comes to hybrid in the cloud, all those concepts. I pretty much put all these videos around this concept on my YouTube already. If you are interested to have a look, it's all freely available, by the way. How to help others to grasp knowledge. It's about security awareness and training. So if somebody sends you phishing email, how do you know? So best practices: never ever click on an email from unknown person. Always open an email from known person. So if you're an unknown person, chances are it's a phishing email and your credential can be leaked. So in a nutshell, fundamentals is all about understanding, and then we have some installing operating system, mix and match. For hands-on here, understand, learn in this all theory, navigate Windows, practical system log. This section is completely practical when you become a power user, which is good. System administration, by the end of those, use best practices, understand, manage, choose, program search, mix and match of both, and security also mix and match both. So I can see 50% of the course, in my opinion, looks like practical. Same thing. This university college, they have this you will course transition from working on a single computer to a whole fleet, system administrator, blah blah blah. So you gotta make sure you do learn as much as hands-on experience. These are syllabus, but if you get to learn hands-on 80% of it, then I think you're in a pretty good shape. For example, yeah, like project management, process management, your file system, right? You need to understand file system and permissions and all that. Here they're talking about defense in depth, which is like the multi-layer of security. So every institution and college, they have different way of teaching you for the same course or syllabus outline. So I think you cannot go wrong with that course outline. It's pretty good for somebody starting into into IT or transition. So again, I have the same recommendation I did for CompTIA and A plus or something. Let me just go to YouTube/c/iMentor Cloud. Let me just give you so we'll just go you the playlist here, and the playlist I'm talking about, you can start with Azure fundamentals here, or you can start with how to career, this one, learn ID basic concept, this one, and this one. So this will give you good enough idea about these. And also when it comes to this, take this certification, learn it, and I'm sure you'll find you're pretty much very knowledgeable next few months. So that being said, if you like it, let me know your thoughts. If you already done this, let me know, put your question, and I'll see you in my next video with another topic. Thank you. Bye.